All right. Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing? Welcome to another episode of True Crime Tuesday with your host, me, Feminine and Fierce. I hope you guys have had a great week so far. I know it's hard getting back into the routine of things, especially after a holiday. So, we have a good episode today of True Crime. But first, as you guys know, we start this out playing a trivia game, a true crime trivia game at that. But after this, I will be saying goodbye to Facebook. So you can make your way on over here. All you have to do is go out of the live that you're in, scroll to the top of the page over there on Facebook, and click the link. It says True Crime Tuesday, and come on over. Sorry, I just got a text. Come on over, enter the chat at your own risk. There's only two rules here: no malarkey, no spoiler alerts. That's it. Um, if you see someone or something you don't like in the chat, all you have to do is block them. We're all adults here. If you want to tussle, tussle. If you want to keep the peace, block. It's really that simple. If you do get distracting, aggravating, or I just feel like it, I may mute you. It lasts 5 minutes and you can try again. Also, if everybody would hit that thumbs up on the video, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay, let me know that I missed you. And also, if you're watching this on the replay or any of my videos, please take the time to hype the videos up if you can. I believe you get 3 hypes a week, and I'd greatly appreciate one of those 3 or all of them if you'd like. It just helps, just like the thumbs up, it helps me to be seen, hopefully, by more people and gets my channel out there. So, thank you guys so much for that. But let's get straight into the game here. Hey, everybody. All right. Now, looks like they, like I said, they usually have something in common. I'm not sure what the commonality is between all of them. Y'all, your guess is as good as mine. I would say eyebrows, but I don't know what dude's got going on. His eyebrows go all the way around his head, and then he's bald on top. So what? Isn't that crazy? Can't grow hair anywhere else, but you can grow a unibrow. Not even just a unibrow, you guys. He has a unibrow slash sideburn hairline. Like it all goes together. That's talent right there. But here's how the game works. We've got 5 people at the top. Those are our alleged criminals. They are innocent until proven guilty, but they are one, two, three, four, and five. And then we have five criminal acts that they each have been charged with. So our job is to guess who it is. So we got assault, we got battery on a police officer, domestic violence, grooming, and driving under the influence. Who looks like the groomer out of these? You guys let me know, and I will randomly pick different people in the comments. Remember your answers, though, in case I don't pick it. Oh, DUI is 4. Okay, I see that. Eyebrows. DUI. DUI is 4. Got it. 5 is grooming. All right. Unicrown. Maybe that's a good one. Looks like Lynn. That's painted on. Oh, is it? I was gonna say because that's some really let's see. We got okay. What about 1, 2, and 3? What did 1, 2, and 3 do? Patricia, you say 1, but what did 1 do? 3 is DV. All right. So we've got assault and battery on a police officer. Very similar crimes. I mean, they're both battery or whatever. All right, so we got 1 and 2, assault or battery on a police officer. Which one? Which one? Do we switch them up or leave them the same? 2 battery, 1 assault. Let's see how it works. 1 out of 5. What do we? Oh, we got the assault correct. So it's assault. The real assault is those eyebrows, honey. Number 2 was driving under the influence. 3, battery on a police officer. Ooh, number 4 was grooming. And number 5 was domestic violence. Look at that. You just never can tell. You just never can tell, y'all. All right, we go to the last page and then we go to the next page. Where to go? There we go. Let's go to this one. Because back in the day, they had like way different ones. Oh my goodness. 68. Come on now. All right, let's see. We don't do good on the okay, senior citizens. Here we go. We've got 5 senior citizens. Number 1 looks guilty. We got 5 senior citizens. These are their crimes they allegedly committed: battery on a cop, larceny, battery and stalking, terroristic threats, and manufacture of drugs. Let me find out grandpa is manufacturing drugs, or grandma. All right, what do y'all think? Who's doing the threats? Who is battery and stalking? Who committed larceny? Who's cooking up the who's got the baking soda? And who's got battery on a cop? 2 battery on a cop. All right. 2 battery on a cop. Did number 1 do the drugs? Y'all agree on 2. Okay, number 5 is the drugs. All right. All right. Who's got terroristic threats? I'm telling you, number 4 she does not look like Meemaw, honey. Number 3 is larceny. All right, who's stalking and who's terroristic threats? You think 4 is Methiana? That's what I was thinking. Number 1's terroristic, and she's battery and stalking. Let's see what they did. 1 out of 5. Well, that's what he did. You guys got it right. Terroristic threats. Number 2 is the one that was cooking it up in the kitchen. Number 3, battery on a cop. Number 4 was larceny. I thought she would have done something like mean, which that's mean. Larceny, stealing shit's mean. And number 5, who can't even look at the camera, battery and stalking. Buddy, you could look enough to stalk. You better look at that camera. All right, well, that's the end of our games. We do that just to break the ice because, fair warning, it is true crime. And in my opinion, all true crime cases can be triggering. So we just open it up that way, kind of just to break the ice a little bit. But we are getting ready to get into the cases. So I am going to be saying goodbye to Facebook. Again, the link is on the page, so make your way over. Um, let's start out with this case. Got a few of them on the. Okay, hold on. Again, no spoiler alerts. I'm sure that some of you guys know these cases, especially this first one. Um, so please, no spoiler alerts. Let's get right into it. Can't judge it. That's what I say. Can't judge a book by its cover. I always say that when we do these because we definitely can't judge. I mean, we judge, but we're not very good at judging what crime they did. That's for damn sure. All right, bye to Facebook. But yeah, that's another reason why I love to do this because people will say, "Oh my God, I've known him forever. There's no way he could have done that crime." You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. That's for sure. All right, let's get right into it again. No spoiler alert.
A coordinated search effort took place today in Cadillac as volunteers continue looking for Rebecca K. Park, who's been missing since November 3rd. The community gathered earlier this morning to cover a large stretch of wooded land just west of town. Up North Live's Tony Lundy joins us from the Meijer in Cadillac, where the team actually first started searching today. Tony, what did searchers find out? What did they gather today?
Well, Melissa, they chose this Meijer because they felt like it was a central place for everybody to meet, and it gave plenty of room to organize for a large turnout like they had. Dozens of volunteers checked in here around 10 this morning. They had a quick little meeting, and they made their way out to go out and be a part of the search.
Also making headlines tonight, the bizarre disappearance of a pregnant Michigan woman taking another gruesome turn. Her body turns up in northern Michigan, but the status of her baby is unknown. Fox 2's Jessica Dupek is tracking this case that's getting coverage really across the country.
What in the world? What happened? Oh, my bad, y'all.
Country tonight, and Jess, for good reasons, where is this baby? Everyone's wondering.
Yeah, Rube, it's just an incredibly sad story at every turn. And who we're talking about is 22-year-old Rebecca Park. Her family says that she went missing about 3 weeks ago, and her body was found in a forest in northern Michigan in the Cadillac area last night. But the really tragic, even more tragic part of all of this is the location and condition of her baby is unknown at this time, and police are being incredibly quiet.
The young lady that was found resembles Rebecca Parks, a young lady that went missing on November 4th. and we are currently actively investigating that. That's a tragic time in our county, and hopefully this brings some closure to this awful incident.
So as we said, Rebecca's family confirms her body was found in the Manistee National Forest by searchers last night, not far from where she was last seen by her mother 21 days ago, 21 days earlier near Cadillac. That's up north, of course. Oddly, it's an area that had been searched before, but she was not there. Now in court a day later, her baby's father, Richard Fahler, and Rebecca's younger sister, Kimberly Park, they're facing charges unrelated to all of this. He's facing drug charges, and she's facing charges for tampering with evidence and lying to police. None of them charged with homicide. No one at this point, and that is likely to do with the fact that an autopsy hasn't been done. So we will continue to monitor that charging situation. I do understand that the victim's mother, she also had a polygraph test last night. Unclear the results of that polygraph. Now coming up on The Edge at 11, we'll take you inside the courtroom up in northern Michigan. For now,
with new developments in a case we've been following out of northern Michigan, 2 people have been arrested in the death of Rebecca Park, a pregnant woman who had been missing since November 3rd. Let's get live to Fox News' Jessica Dupnack. She's been following the investigation and joins us with new details. Jessica.
Roop, I want to get everyone up to speed, first of all, because this case does stem out of northern Michigan, but it has had mass appeal across the country. We're talking about a young mother, 22-year-old Rebecca Park. She went missing in early November. She was 38 weeks pregnant, actually starting the process of labor when she was last seen by her mother in the Cadillac area, specifically Boone Township. Now, 3 weeks after she went missing, this takes us to last week, her body was found not too far from when she was last seen in the Manistee National Forest. An autopsy confirming over the weekend the worst, that it was in fact Rebecca Park, but sadly her baby was nowhere and is nowhere to be found at this hour. Now last week, shortly after her body was found, there were 2 people that were arrested. The child's father was arrested and Rebecca Park's own sister. Now they were both charged on unrelated charges. He was charged with drug charges. She was also charged with lying to police. Now they have since been arraigned, and we learned in the last 24 hours 2 more people have been arrested. Courtney Bartholomew and Bradley Bartholomew. Courtney is actually Rebecca's own mother and her stepdad Bradley. Now they were supposed to be charged in relation to this case, in relation to what is now a homicide investigation, and their arraignment was postponed until tomorrow. Now we've been tracking this case because of just the incredible sad situation we're talking about here. A young mother that went missing for 3 weeks, really so many people, hundreds and thousands of people searching for her, and it's really the question tonight is, where is her baby? 38 weeks pregnant, she was starting to deliver, and that is the question that Wexford County Sheriff's deputies up in northern Michigan are trying to answer. Such a sad case, and then you look at this, that her own family members are being charged in all of this, and again, we are tracking this case and the arraignment that is scheduled for tomorrow. Rebecca Park, that young mother, her own mother being charged, and her stepfather. We will continue to follow this story. There are a lot of internet sleuths on this one because of just the horrific details of the case. So I caution as you go to Google, proceed with caution, because there's a lot of theories out there that are unfounded. We're going to leave the investigative work up to the investigators. Stay with Fox 2 on air, online for the latest in this case. Reporting live, Jessica Dupnack, Fox 2 News.
And I know everyone's just piecing together information, including investigators right now, but is it clear at all if this baby was born? And if the baby was born, is it presumed that someone has the baby? What are the investigators telling you about that?
Well, that's what I'd like to hope, Roop, that someone does have this child tonight. There's all kinds of outlandish theories out there, and it's unclear. The medical examiner, of course, a small town medical examiner, really not releasing any details about cause of death, or if she were to deliver that baby, or if something else happened with the body. A lot of theories, and your mind can run wild. At this point, until the arraignment, I'd imagine we'll get some more details tomorrow, which will be pivotal in this case moving forward.
2 family members of Rebecca Park are now charged with her death.
And those charges giving us a glimpse of what investigators say happened to the 22-year-old and her baby.
Rebecca's biological mother and stepfather, Courtney and Bradley Bartholomew, in court today on 8 charges each.
Now, we are warning you, the details of this case are very difficult to hear. Up North Live's Tony Lundy joins us live from the Wexford County Courthouse, where the couple was charged with the murder of Rebecca and her baby. Tony, what was the atmosphere like inside that courtroom today?
Well, Melissa and Mark, the courtroom was packed with family, friends, and others from the community, all hopeful to find answers on this month-long case. But many left that courtroom today heartbroken. The graphic details laid out by the prosecuting attorney describing what investigators say led to the death of Rebecca Park and her baby. The accused, Rebecca's biological mom, Courtney Bartholomew, and stepdad, Brad Bartholomew.
They brought Rebecca Park to their home. They forced her into a vehicle and took her into the woods where they stabbed her, forced her to lie on the ground while they cut her baby out of her, ultimately causing her death and the death of the baby.
The courtroom was filled with the same people who desperately searched for Rebecca after she was reported missing 1 month ago. And now, hearing the details that led to her death left many visibly distraught. The prosecutor asking the judge to leave no room for leniency.
This is as heinous and as awful a case as it could be. And I don't believe there are any circumstances in which Mr. Bartholomew should be granted any bond.
The judge did agree, ordering both Courtney and Bradley Bartholomew to continue being held without bond and are ordered to not have communication with one another from the jails. Live in Wexford County, Tony Lundy, Up North Live News.
Okay, so as you heard there, as horrific as it was, when they found, can I ask the chat for some help in your neighbor's case? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you mean, but yeah. Um, okay, Teresa. Yes, so they knew when they found the body, they already knew what was going on, but the reason they kept saying they didn't know about the baby is because allegedly when they found her, they just found her corpse and they had taken the baby. Apparently the baby didn't make it either. Um, but they weren't sure of that. Is what I've heard, from everything that's been going, talked about. Um, but here is the crazy part of this story. The mother, and this may point to a little bit of motive, Sandy. So the man that you saw, okay, the first two alleged family members that got charged, the first guy that got charged with drug charges, that was allegedly the father to the baby. Yes, Evelyn, and the baby's no longer here. The baby is was deceased as well. Um, but the man that got charged for the drugs, that was allegedly the baby daddy. Now, here's the kicker. The baby daddy, the father to the child that she was pregnant with, because it kind of confused people, I think, because they showed her holding a baby. That was a different child. This baby, she was 38 weeks pregnant and already in like pre-labor basically they said on the news like she had started the process of labor. She was like in the beginning stages of labor at 38 weeks. Now, her and her mother did not get along. The only reason that she was even because the mother was the last one to see her alive. But allegedly, one of her grandparents had passed away and she had got money, like an inheritance or something. And her mother had it, either had the money or had a check. And so that's the only reason she even went to her mother's house is to allegedly collect this money or collect this check. And they forced her in the car, took her to the woods, and basically cut the baby out, and which resulted in her and the baby passing away. But the baby dad is actually an ex of the mother. So it's her mother's ex boyfriend that got her 22-year-old daughter pregnant. I found that very interesting part of it. And I haven't heard very many people I haven't heard the news talk about it much, which I'm sure they haven't talked about it much because they probably haven't been able to talk to the people involved to get that, to where they couldn't get sued type thing. But that's allegedly the case that he at one point dated the mother. He got the 22-year-old pregnant, and then he was on obviously some type of drug, and that's why he got a drug charge. The little sister got tampering with evidence, which I don't know what she tampered with. And then the mother and the new stepdad, her mom's new boyfriend, they were charged in the red room. So I don't know if they wanted the baby, if she was pissed off and didn't want her to have her ex's baby. Like, that's a motive. To me, that would be a motive. Like, I mean, that could be a possible motive, depending on how she felt about the man. Now, clearly, she's moved on and has a new boyfriend, but you don't know how people are. I mean, maybe I don't think the money was the motive that they were giving her. I think that was just getting her there. I think the motive was clearly the baby, considering that they literally took her life to try to get the baby out of her. Is why I say the baby was definitely the motive. But why was the baby the motive? Um, so I don't know. I just don't understand what goes through people's heads where they think they're going to get away with something like that. Like, it's your own daughter. She was last seen at your house. In what world did you think you were going to get away with this? Especially when the investigators found out that you guys didn't even get along, that she was never even allegedly at your house, and the only reason she came was to pick up some money. So I don't even think that's what I'm saying. Maybe the money thing was a total lie. Who knows? Maybe that was just to get her there. I don't think the money was the thing. I think the baby was the issue. And why the baby was the issue, I don't know. Maybe she wanted the baby. Yes, Roxanne, they said that the baby was deceased. So I'm not sure. It hasn't come out yet where they found the baby, like if the baby was at their house, if they had tried to take the baby and try to, whatever the case, but they have said that they have been charged with both the mother and the baby's death. They've been charged with murder for both. Yes, somebody said that she was in foster care. And so I'm not sure about that. But yeah, they said she was in foster care, that her and her mother did not get along, and the only reason she was even there was because she had had a grandparent pass away, and there was some kind of inheritance that she was supposed to pick up. So just and a lot of people I don't think have heard of this story. I don't even think a lot of people heard about it. I certainly did not hear about this story as far as missing until they found her body. Which sadly that's how it goes sometimes. But yeah, I did not hear anything about this missing mom that was 38 weeks pregnant that had been missing. I had no idea until they said this body, came up and they thought it matched with a missing person. So yeah. You never heard of it? Yeah, it's definitely a sad one for sure. Okay, let's get into this next one. I hope you guys are enjoying this episode. Sadly, there's just so many cases that have been going on lately. And some of these cases, I'm just like, what is going on with the world? Okay. All right. Mom and baby are together now. Yes. You didn't hear anything? Yeah, it's sad. I mean, like I said, she had been missing for a while.
Of killing his 11-year-old son in Elk Grove, then leading police on a chase. A former Sacramento County deputy is suspected of killing his 11-year-old son in Elk Grove, then leading police on a chase down Interstate 5, crashing, then being shot and killed by law enforcement. Authorities say the man involved is 40-year-old Marvin Morales. He was fired by the sheriff's office a few years ago. It came after an investigation found he lied about a fentanyl overdose.
Now, this has resulted in an hours-long lane closure on I-5. One lane is open, but the two other lanes have been blocked since this morning. Thanks for joining us at 4. I'm Lisa Gonzalez.
And I'm Andrea Flores. KCRA 3's Michelle Bandor is live in Elk Grove, where all of this began this morning. So, Michelle, tell us what happened.
Well, Andrea, Elk Grove police actually cleared the scene here more than an hour ago, getting rid of the crime scene tape that had been blocking Farrell Way since 8 o'clock this morning, and it's now giving us a closer look at the Morales home where this violence took place about 8 o'clock this morning, and you can see there's Christmas decorations right out front in the front yard. We're seeing lots of Christmas decorations around this quiet suburban neighborhood. We even saw an Amazon package being dropped off at this home, and you would never know that a child was attacked and killed here this morning, and that his father is the one accused of stabbing him to death. Elk Grove police tell us they received a 911 call from the children's mother concerned about the safety of her kids. Police say the mother was at work and while looking at the cameras placed inside the home, told operators her son was being stabbed by his father. And when officers arrived, Marvin Morales was gone. They found an empty gun case and the children home alone. Neighbors also tell me they are a close neighborhood. They started a group chat about the incident today. Have you been able to go over the videos from inside the home that may have give you any clues as to what led up to this? Did he make any statement in the cameras inside the home, or any type of evidence like that to help you understand a motive here?
We have not watched the cameras inside the residence. We've been working.
Can you imagine being a mother, being at work, and you're watching on your home camera your husband or your child's father doing that to your child that you have together? I mean, how helpless could you feel? I mean, you could not feel any more helpless than in that moment where you're watching across town or wherever she works, and you know you cannot get home fast enough to do oh, I can't imagine.
This just as you guys have the moment it happened.
Yeah.
We were on the scene earlier on the highway. It's just been progressing as we go along.
Now he is the cop that he is a cop. He said that he lied. He got fired because he lied about an overdose of fentanyl. But if he's the one in the bathroom, beggars, that would be insane if he's that same cop. What the heck? That would be insane if he's the same one. Wait, where did it go? I need to find out.
When I had come back from dropping off my girls, we heard all the sirens, and then the neighbors started talking about what was going on and how they heard the little girl screaming outside. And then so we started kind of watching the news, and it was kind of all happening in real time.
And what did you think? Like, what was going through your mind?
Just really sad, just because I think, I assume they were on their way to school, just because I had finished dropping off my girls, and I think they all go to the same school.
A lot of tough conversations this neighborhood is having and to have with their children tonight, trying to explain what happened. Gallegos and other.
Oh my goodness, I did not know this. So if you guys remember, I showed a video of a cop that had went to a sheriff's station and he had said that he touched the substance or whatever. But if you guys remember, they had busted somebody for the fentanyl. He had went straight to the police station, went straight to the bathroom, and then the other deputy followed him, not knowing what he was doing, and just happened to find him unresponsive in the sheriff's bathroom. And I played that video. That is the same cop. It says, yes, Marvin Morales, a former Sacramento County Sheriff's detective or deputy, is the individual involved in both incidents. He was the former deputy who was found unresponsive in a sheriff's station bathroom in October 2023 after intentionally smoking the fent he had confiscated earlier that day. He lied about the incident, claiming it was an accidental exposure, but an internal investigation revealed intentional drug use, and he was fired in February 2024. On December 2nd, 2025, which is this incident, he was the father who allegedly fatally took out his 11-year-old son in Elk Grove, California. He fled the scene and was later shot and killed by law enforcement officers after a high-speed chase on Interstate 5. Oh my goodness. Like, full circle moment. Thank you so much, beggars, because I did not put the two together. I knew that they said he lied about an overdose, but never in my I didn't think it was in the same town. Oh my goodness. If you guys haven't seen that video, I definitely played it.
Their neighbors tell me they've all lived here about 10 years, with the Morales family actually being one of the first neighbors they met.
They hold 4th of July block parties here. They watch out for each other, just telling me that they're shocked and they're sad to learn about the situation and want to reach out to the mother and that 6-year-old younger daughter who may have witnessed the violence and the killing of her brother. She was unharmed, and we're told that she is in a safe place now. We're live in Elk Grove. Michelle Bandur, KCRA 3 News.
So, Michelle, we've reported extensively about Morales' background with drugs and being fired from the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. Did neighbors know anything about his overdose?
Well, it was interesting talking to neighbors. Gallegos told me that he found out about it today through our reporting, but another neighbor told me that they found out about it just recently, a couple of months ago, and that they were shocked to learn about the overdose, which happened 2 years ago, and then his firing. So it was something they had no idea about and just recently learned, and saying, you know, his behavior didn't exhibit someone who was on those type of hard drugs.
Hey, Kimba.
So again, it's just another reason for them to be shocked, and everyone trying to figure out if maybe drugs led up to this. This is still something that we don't know the motive here or why this happened. And police said, told us we asked if they found drugs in the house, and they weren't able to tell us that yet. So it's all still part of the investigation here.
Yeah, this whole thing is just unimaginable and hard to believe. Michelle Bandur, thank you for the live report. As that Elk Grove Unified School bus passes back in the background there, Elk Grove School District has confirmed with us the family involved is part of their district. They wrote in a statement, quote, "We are heartbroken by the tragic incident that took place in our Elk Grove community. We can confirm that the family involved is part of the Elk Grove Unified School District. We are committed to supporting our students and staff and have made counseling and additional resources available during this difficult time. Our thoughts are with everyone affected," end of quote.
Now we want to get to KCRA 3's Jason Marks live at the I-5 closure where this chase and the crash happened. So Jason, you're still at the scene right now. What are you seeing?
Well, Andrea, this scene has been going on for nearly 7 hours, and it's still very active. Let me step out and give you an idea of what's happening behind me right now and tell you exactly where we are. We are along Interstate 5 southbound between 8 Mile Road and Highway 12. That's in San Joaquin County, just west of Lodi. Now, if you go around the other way, if we start pointing the camera northbound back towards Sacramento, you can see the backup, and it goes for miles. I can tell you that. Traffic in this section is down to 1 lane and should be that way for a bit longer as officers continue to piece together what has happened. Now, this all started northbound about 30 miles north on I-5 in the Pocket area, right around Pocket Road, is when officers were looking for Marvin Morales, and that's when several officers, including Sheriff Jim Cooper, saw that car that Morales was driving, and they started to chase him. He went down I-5, officers followed. Speeds got up to nearly 100 miles an hour, we're told. And then it came down into San Joaquin County, right into this section, and that's when CHP decided to go ahead and deploy spike strips. Morales hit those spike strips and ended up crashing the car right over there. You can see it in the distance, just barely. You can see the hood, and that's where the center of the investigation is taking place right now. We talked with CHPD earlier, who was actually...
I never did see where the damn hood was. He said you could see the hood. I never saw it.
...leading this investigation.
Our goal is to make sure that we, along with our partners, conduct a very robust investigation. But we also know that, we're affecting traffic. And so one of our priorities is to open as many lanes as possible as soon as we possibly can. But in this type of incident where we have an officer-involved shooting, it just takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, and it's been nearly 7 hours, and no end in sight at this point. We can tell you that we've seen local law enforcement out here, along with CHPD, CHP is actually the one who's leading the investigation. We've also seen ATF out here. So we've seen federal investigators out here trying to figure out exactly what happened. We do know that once Morales crashed that car, according to officers, that's when that gunfire took place. We're told several officers fired at Morales. He was, of course, hit. He died at the hospital. We have not been told yet Guys, what led up to the shooting? If Morales fired first or if he had a weapon, that part is still under the investigation. And that's the part we have not been told yet. Now back to you.
Yeah, and interesting that ATF is there. So, Jason, you said I-5 has been partially shut down for hours, for most of the day. Any word on when they might get it completely cleared?
Yeah, Dawn.
Yeah, no word yet. We were told earlier, and let me step out and just give you another idea of what's going on. You can see that one lane all the way on the other side is where you have traffic. That's the one lane that's moving. The rest of the lanes are closed due to this investigation. Earlier today, we were told by CHP that it would be at least through the afternoon, maybe into the early.
Okay. All right, so this is the same officer. His son was 11.
Internal Affairs documents show this all started the night of October 24th, 2023, when Deputy Marvin Morales conducted a, quote, suspicious subject stop. The report says he recovered drugs in a piece of tinfoil that he thought was meth. We now know it was fentanyl. He cited the suspects and left. A few hours later, body camera video shows another deputy finding Morales passed out on the floor of a bathroom stall. The report says Morales smoked the drugs out of a pipe, then collapsed.
Oh, he got fired for this. They did investigate it, and that he had got fired in 2024, and then he did this now in 2025. So this happened October 24th, 2023. In 2024, they had completed their investigation. They fired him. And now in 2025, the mother of the child had to watch it on her surveillance video. And she's who called in and said, I just watched my son get by his father. And so he took off and did this high-speed chase on I-5. They deployed strips, and then they didn't say if he had a weapon or not, but they fired and took him out of this world.
The other deputy administered multiple doses of Narcan, and Morales was taken to the hospital where he became conscious again. And the report notes this caused emotional distress to Deputy Morales' partners who responded to save his life. There was a large-scale emergency response, which you can see in this video when our crews were on scene. The report says while Deputy Morales was at the hospital, samples of his hair tested positive for meth, which they say typically indicates chronic use.
Damn. It said lifetime detection. It said lifetime detection, so it was chronic use. So he identified that as methamphetamine, and then when he went over to use it, he just assumed it was what he had been using, and it wasn't. And so he had lied and said that he got exposed to it. But when they tested him, he was positive for something else besides that. So obviously they're like, yeah, you lied about it. You thought because even in the video, in the body cam, he says, "Oh yeah, this is meth." So he just assumed it was meth and it wasn't. And the guy he arrested didn't say, "Well, that's not what it is." He just let him say whatever. They cited him and they left. I don't know if he did any jail time or not, but I know he was, again, they did their internal investigation. He was fired. Um, but my thing is why they didn't notice he didn't put it into evidence. I mean, I don't know. I guess because he was caught with it. So what they think he just got it out because he was caught with it in his hand, I thought, and a lighter. So, I don't know how they ever thought it was exposure, unless his buddy was just covering it up. Because I remember we watched that video and they started saying exposure, and I was like, "Dude, when you got up on him, you could see the lighter and the tinfoil, like it was at one hand and the other." It's pretty obvious. But that's crazy that it's the same cop. Shout out to Beggars again for letting me know because I did not put two and two together. Um, because I didn't remember his name. Now they did say, something about him lying over an overdose, but wow. So basically, since that happened, if that, obviously that wasn't his rock bottom. Mm, that's awful. All right, let's go to this next video. Such a sad case here. Definitely trigger warning on this one. Like I said, all of them are trigger warnings for me, but definitely trigger warning. No, he did not die in a wreck. They deployed spike strips, and then they didn't explain exactly how it happened, but they say they deployed spike strips. He pulled over, and then I guess he got out of the vehicle, and or they just started firing. I'm not sure which, but the cops started firing. Several officers fired shots towards him, and he ended up passing away at the scene. So that's how he passed away.
The manhunt is underway for the suspect who killed 4 people, including 3 children, and left several people injured at a child's birthday party in Stockton. Fox's Christina Coleman has the latest.
4 people were killed and
Yeah,
11
right,
others
Kyla?
were injured in a mass shooting
Yes,
Saturday
Tamara.
night. It happened just before 6 o'clock in the evening at a banquet hall in Stockton, California. An 8-year-old and a 9-year-old were killed in the shooting, in addition to a 14-year-old and a 21-year-old. Authorities say the shooting occurred during a large birthday party for a young child.
The numbers that we have been seeing, and this is also online, is 100 to 150 attendees at this family get-together.
It absolutely breaks our heart to have the loss of life and to have the loss of life to children in our community.
Authorities say this was a targeted incident. Law enforcement from multiple agencies are working this case as community leaders condemn the violence.
Families should be together instead of at the hospital, standing next to their loved one, praying that they survive.
Violence of this nature has absolutely no place at any time, shape, or form, and children should not be harmed by gun and gang violence.
Governor Gavin Newsom was also briefed on this incident. Officials within his office described the shooting as horrific. They are monitoring this evolving situation and coordinating with law enforcement. Christina Coleman, Fox News.
Let's get straight to that breaking news as the search continues in Stockton for the suspect in a deadly mass shooting at what's being described as a children's birthday party in a banquet hall. This all happened just after 6 yesterday evening on Lucille Avenue near Thornton Road. Investigators calling it a targeted attack. The family event, a party ending with gunfire on Thanksgiving weekend. This right here is video from the scene last night. Investigators say a suspect is still on the run. This is what San Joaquin District Attorney Ron Freitas had to say.
It's our understanding at this time that the individual responsible is still outstanding. If you have any information as to this individual, reach out immediately. And if you are this individual, turn yourself in immediately.
This is Thanksgiving weekend. This is when families come together, celebrate, share memories, give each other love. And unfortunately tonight, heaven is a little bigger with the individuals, children and adults that unfortunately do not make it.
In an emotional statement, Stockton Mayor Christina Fugazi offered her support to her community following a shooting at a banquet hall near Lucille Avenue Saturday night. San Joaquin County Sheriff's Office spokeswoman Heather Brent sharing that 14 people were shot, 4 of them killed, including children.
It is unfathomable that there are young children who are harmed, that there's anybody who is harmed in this, and our hearts go out to those victims, to their families, and to our community. Do you have any further questions at this time?
Multiple agencies and city leaders are vowing to seek justice for the victims who were shot at a family gathering. District Attorney Ron Freitas calling the tragedy unthinkable and pleading with his community and asking the person responsible to turn themselves in.
When this individual is caught, you have my promise that you will have the full force of my office's resources in holding this individual fully accountable.
Mayor Fugazi also calling on her city to do better and speak up if they know anything.
Whoever did this, if you know them, as the district attorney just said, please call Crime Stoppers. You can leave an anonymous tip. We've got work to do, and this type of violence, again, our city is better than that.
And as we all know now, it was a heartbreaking situation. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras was there just minutes after it all unfolded and has more information and reaction from locals.
Well, it was a very frantic and fluid scene in the minutes after the tragedy unfolded. It was here at this parking lot, this strip mall, where we're told some of the crowds first ran to try to get cover. There was so much adrenaline in the air, but the heartbreak was palpable in those first few minutes. We were on scene less than an hour after the tragedy unfolded, which means we saw those groups of first responders, dozens of police cars, fire engines and ambulances, and most heartbreakingly, families and mothers sobbing, asking where their kids are. People who live near Thornton Road and Lucille Avenue say it all happened so fast.
That was a lot of gunfire. That was a lot of gunfire.
At least 3 bursts of gunfire, Jason Ameson said, and after a fleet of first responders.
There was probably 10 to 12 ambulances, every fire truck, every police officer.
At first, he didn't know what had happened, but he saw, as we saw, on the cold concrete and under the dark sky, families breaking down into tears.
Afterwards, there was a lot of people that walked out, a lot, yelling for their kids and stuff like that.
Is really what's sticking with me and with so many here tonight. Those parents who just wanted to know where their kids were. Tragic to know that so many of them will never see their loved ones again. As many of you know, I was born and raised here in San Joaquin County. I've been to this strip mall several times, just a couple weeks ago actually, for lunch. I have friends who live in this neighborhood. They are all stunned. To say that this is heartbreaking is really an understatement. The grief and the shock is palpable in Stockton, and the city is shaken. In Stockton, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
It's been a busy 21 hours for us, and that's about how far we are into this right now. And so understand that a lot of you have seen what we've put out so far, but just wanted to take this opportunity to come and give you a little bit of an update of where we're at on this. Not a lot to add to it, but wanted to give you the opportunity to ask any questions you might have also. So as you know, approximately 21 hours ago, a little before 6 o'clock, we had a mass shooting at a child's birthday party here in Stockton, in the county region of Stockton. Our units responded and found approximately 15 victims of gunshot wounds at this party, and unfortunately 4 of those 15 are deceased now. As we put out, the ages are from 8, 9, 14, and 21 in this horrific shooting that occurred. We have been actively investigating this, obviously, from the moment it happened. We've had our team on the scene processing it for the past 21 hours, and while that was going on, we were actively following up all the leads that we have, looking for witness statements, asking anyone to give us any video that they might have of this incident, and following every lead that we have at this time. I am confident in our team and with the work that we have done so far, that we will find these animals that did this and bring them to justice. But we still need the public's help on this. We need everyone who has any information on this to reach out to us. This is the time for our community to show that we will not put up with this type of behavior where people will just walk in and kill children. We all know that there are people out there that are violent and commit violent crimes, but these animals walked in and shot children at a children's birthday party. And none of us should stand for that. And so if you know anything about this, you have to come forward and tell us what you know. If not, you just become complacent and think this is acceptable behavior. Any little bit that you can get us will help us. And so we are diligently following up everything that we have so far. So please continue to give us more information, and we will follow every single lead and be very detail-oriented so that the moment that we have these subjects in custody, we will be able to hold them accountable, and our DA will be able to charge them and make sure that they will never be able to do this again to anyone else.
Now to the very latest on that deadly mass shooting in Stockton. It's been 3 days since 3 children and an adult were killed at a child's birthday party. The San Joaquin County Sheriff says his department is making promising progress on the investigation.
He says that those deputies are being very thorough as they go through the evidence, and he believes there will be a resolution very quickly.
just know that we're coming for you. There's nothing you can do now. You've already created this havoc, this horror you've brought to these families, the horror you've brought to our community, and we're going to get you and we're going to hold you accountable.
Right now, there's a combined $75,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. The FBI is offering $50,000. You can find their tip page online, and Stockton Crime Stoppers is also offering $25,000. Here's that phone number. You also see it right there on your screen. It's 209-946-0600. You can remain anonymous. And this morning, we're also hearing from the family of one of the children killed in Saturday night's shooting.
KCR3's Melanie Wingo is joining us now in Stockton with reaction.
Well, there is a memorial, a tribute, if you will, to the victims who died on Saturday out in front of this event space, and it continues to grow. And as it does, we continue to get new information into our newsroom about the lives lost. So take a look. One of the children killed on Saturday is 14-year-old Amari Peterson. The 8th grade attended the party with his parents and 3 young siblings. Amari's dad, Patrick Peterson, says his son left his side momentarily to meet with a rapper who was at that gathering. Then suddenly shots rang out. Peterson says he saw the lone gunman wearing a face mask, in his words, firing multiple shots in the direction where his son was gathering with other people. Then Peterson says it appeared the shooter was aiming at that rapper.
And then I'm standing there for a second, then I started looking around to see if anybody else heard it.
Now, Amari's dad says he then scrambled over toward his son, performed CPR on his child until paramedics arrived, and then Amari died at the hospital a short time later. Reporting live in Stockton, Melanie Wingo, KCRA 3 News.
All right, Melanie, thank you. And as the city grapples with grief and fear brought on by this shooting, 2 musicians are looking for a way to bring the community together. They're giving youth a voice by turning that pain into passion.
I want to be an author writing stories that inspire.
The artists are giving this studio a new purpose by inviting kids from across the city to record a song. The lyrics are more than just words, they're a message.
We've been saying pray for Stockton for the better part of 10 years. So all these praying for Stockton, I'm like, these prayers, it's not quite doing enough, you know? So I'm like, we got to do something tangible.
The artists are hoping that the song will be done in about a week, and they're also looking to gather community organizers and city leaders to shoot a music video with those kids.
Such a sad story, for sure. Oh, so many sad stories. So many. Okay. Last one here. I hope you guys are enjoying all of true crime. I know some of these stories are incredibly sad. Of course, as always, prayers and condolences to all of those that are affected. Awful. Okay. Yeah. Go. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find this video real quick. I'm not going to play all of this one, but I did want to play some of it. Oh, hell no. Hold on one second, y'all. What the hell? Hang on, y'all. Give me one second. It's playing a clip. I mean, it's playing a damn ad. I was trying to switch accounts real quick. hell? Over here. All right.
A big Thanksgiving. The Celeste Rivas homicide investigation has taken a big turn. There is now a grand jury that has convened to try and dig up information that could lead to an arrest.
I'm sorry, Layla.
The LA County District Attorney's Office presenting evidence to this grand jury, presenting the evidence they have at this point. And the grand jury, what we've heard is that the grand jury has been convened for several days in mid-November. What we don't know, because grand juries are all done with good reason in secrecy.
Okay.
So we don't know if they are done at this point.
They may still, my guess is they're still going.
I'm guessing they're still
let me kind of explain the way this works. This is an investigative grand jury. And the reason that they convene these is because the police can call somebody that they want to interview, and a lot of people clam up. They say, I'm not going to talk to you. They're afraid of incriminating themselves or other people. And it's very difficult sometimes for police to talk to people who are involved to get information. So the reason for a grand jury is that they can subpoena people and require them to testify. The only way somebody cannot testify is to use their Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. But if there's no Fifth Amendment, they have to testify. So the police use the grand jury as an investigative tool to get things that they could not easily get.
They could also use this to get videos or other documents that, like you said, if someone is being a little difficult, they don't want to turn it over.
Right.
It gives them subpoena power. You can issue, obviously, a subpoena through the grand jury. I think the other big thing here is there's been so much that we have not been able to figure out about this investigation.
Kyla.
Right? I know you've had some great sources, but at the same time, there's so much mystery, it seems, behind this investigation, more so than most others that we deal with, because we know that this body was found in the trunk months ago now. We were always wondering why there was no tox report. We've now learned that because the body was potentially frozen and put on ice. This is a huge step. The fact that a grand jury has been convened means the cops are really, prosecutors are a long way down the road.
Or they're
here.
not.
Or they don't have enough.
Well,
or they don't have enough. They need the grand jury to
But I think it does point to that they think they know where they can get the information.
That's exactly
And
right.
they're hoping by convening this grand jury, they're going to be able to get to it.
What we have been reporting and know is that although the medical examiner has not determined a cause or manner of death, the LAPD Robbery Homicide Division, they are viewing this as a homicide. And they are also viewing the singer David, who had some sort of relationship with this young girl.
Celeste, who was 14.
They are viewing him as a suspect. We're also told there is a second suspect that they're looking at who has some connection to the dismemberment of Celeste's body. As you know, that Celeste's body was found in David's Tesla near his rental house in early September, and it had been there for weeks. And we told you that LAPD knows this, that they believe that they have hard evidence. David took a mysterious trip to Santa Barbara in the spring of this year, spent in a very remote area and spent several hours there in the middle of the night. And they believe there may have been dismemberment there, but they think that is going to be a key part of this investigation.
So the grand jury, if they're now having subpoena power of the grand jury, could help them connect whatever dots they don't have connected yet.
Right,
like you said, we know that they know about this trip to Santa Barbara. They know the body was found in the car. And maybe they already know this and we just don't know it. What happened between the spring of this year, when this trip to Santa Barbara happened,
September,
and then September, and where was her body? If she was actually dismembered back in the spring.
From talking to our sources, and they're at various parts of this investigation, I think they know a lot about this, and it is puzzling. Where was this body? We did a story last weekend that we are told the body was partially frozen when found, which is remarkable since it was in a hot car for so many days. The LAPD captain connected to this case disputed that and said the body was not frozen. We went back to our sources, in particular, a source connected to the medical examiner who quadrupled down on this and said, no, the body was partially frozen. And as we reported, her fingers were so waterlogged, they couldn't
get
take fingerprints.
So
So I agree with Kyla. It's getting confusing, and it seems to be getting confusing because of the discrepancies or the fights or whatever between LAPD and the medical examiner's office, which is crazy to me. Also, the birthday party was there was like allegedly 150 people there. It was a 2-year-old's birthday party, and there was a rapper there. The rapper is allegedly who the targeted person was. They say it was a lone gunman that had a mask over his face, and you heard from the parent that said their child left them for a moment just to go say hi to this rapper, and that's exactly the time that they sprayed into the crowd. 15 people were obviously 15 people were struck by a gunshot. Um, it's just awful. It's awful. And of course, the rapper being the person they were gunning for, basically. Well, not basically, literally gunning for. Um, they're saying that it is tied to some type of gang violence. So many stories, though. But yeah, the D4 case is so confusing. Um, they go back and forth. I believe they're going to have a documentary about him in a few years. Oh, 100%. 100%. I feel like people with money are making things just like so they finally got the petition. They did a petition again to seal things, and they had said back in September that there was no reason to seal the medical examiner's notes, that they believe in transparency and that they don't think that they should be sealed. And now they've done another one, and they not only got it sealed, but they got the petition to seal it sealed to where you can't even read the petition and be able to see what their case was to have it sealed. So, but I guess it was a different person that signed off on it being sealed, and the medical examiner's office is allegedly pissed off that they sealed the records. Um, yeah, we'll definitely be covering this one for a long time. I agree with that because I just don't understand why they don't arrest him or at least detain him or do something. I mean, I'm sure they've questioned him, but it's like put some pressure on him. Watch the Diddy documentary on Netflix, the one 50 Cent did. I did see there was something new that came out about Diddy, but I didn't watch it. I saw TMZ had a video up, but I didn't check into it. But I'll have to check into that documentary for sure. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of True Crime Tuesday. I will see you again Thursday at 9 p.m. And if you watch the Malarkey, I will see you back here shortly. I already got the schedule live up. I will probably be back before 11, but it's just scheduled for 11. But I'll probably be back earlier than that. So if you watch the Malarkey, I'll see you soon. I'm going to take a little break and I'll be right back. If you only watch the true crime, then I'll see you on Thursday at 9 p.m. Bye.